Hello students, in this edition we are going to study about the general mechanism of addition to carbon-carbon double bond. The general mechanism in the sense in the previous video and the notes which I have sent you, we have seen the example of bromination and chlorination where bromine was added in the form of bromonium ion Br plus. If chlorine is added, it will add it in the form of bromonium ion is nothing but Br plus with 3 bonds. Now in this general mechanism, we are just going to before seeing this video, you should please refer to the previous video which I've already discussed and the notes which I've already sent you. Now in this example, we need to just remember a few things before going forward with this topic, that the pi electrons which is forming pi bond are supposed to be more exposed and they are less firmly bounded, and carbon-carbon double bonds are supposed to be electron rich. That means they are going to supply electrons for those compounds which requires electrons or which are electron deficient. So it acts as the supplier of electron to those species which are electron deficient. Following steps will be the similar which we have seen for the previous one. The step 1 which we have already seen was that if we have Br and Br, the first step is to ionize it, then it will in the form of Br plus Br minus. Ionizing is nothing but formation of ions. Here we have two ions formed. This is positive ion, this is negative ion. How this positive and negative ion is formed, we have discussed before, that this bond, that is sigma bond which is between these two Br, are equally shared. If this bond is entirely shifted here, this Br will generate negative charge, and because this Br is losing this bond from itself, it will generate positive charge. So that is how we are getting Br plus and Br minus. In the general step, we are not going to talk about Br or Cl or any other species it is. We're just going to give them a common name like E and Nu. Here if I have E dash Nu, this is supposed to be a reagent. These are your reagents in the reactions. So these reagent which I am naming as E dash Nu is supposed to undergo ionization in the first step to form E plus Nu minus. Now why I have given this E plus name, I have deliberately given it E plus to remember it as electrophiles. Electrophiles are those species which are electron deficient. Because they are electron deficient, that means they have less electrons. Because they have less electrons, it has positive charge. And the name itself, it is electrophiles. They are electron loving because they have less electrons. Nu minus I have given it deliberately as Nu because the name stands for nucleophile. Nucleophile are those species which are electron rich. That is why they have negative charge. Please remember these two things here. In the first step, instead of using the reagent Br2, I am using here E-Nu, that is your reagent. It undergoes ionization to generate a positive ion, that is nothing but electrophile. This is your positive ion, and negative ion, that is your nucleophile. In the step 2, the electrophile formed here. What is the electrophile formed here? The electrophile formed here is E plus. In the previous example which we have discussed, it was Br plus. Now in the general mechanism, instead of Br plus, I am just using E plus. So the electrophile will attack an alkene So here the alkene I'm going to use a C double bond C with only two bonds. I'm not going to write here hydrogens. And this E plus undergoes reaction with this alkene. This plus can go and attack to either this carbon or this carbon, which I am denoting as A or B. If this electrophile, which is E plus, goes and attack to this carbon, it requires electrons to form bond. Those electrons are supplied by this pi electrons, which is going to shift here, and this results in formation of C double bond C. Already it was having two bonds. One more bond is now due to this pi electrons, and it is now E. So that means because it has been transferred here, I need to remove this pi bond. So only sigma bond will stand here, and two bonds were already here. Because this carbon A is losing pi electrons, this will get positive charge. Very simple. Wherever this E plus is going, that carbon will not get positive charge. The next carbon will get positive charge. You need to remember like this. Very simple logic. But what are the facts in this is, the fact is that this Eu plus, which is here, is going to this carbon, or it can also go to this carbon. If it is going to this carbon, it requires bond to form to this carbon, and what happens here is this pi electrons are shifted to this carbon here, and this result in the formation of this bond. And because this particular carbon is losing the pi electrons, it is getting this positive charge. And because this carbon is having three bonds, and one, two, and this third bond is this one, two, and three, and this positive charge, it is called as carbonium ion. It is carbonium ion. The carbonium ion is nothing but a carbon having three bonds with positive charge, is carbonium ion. The other possibility is also there. The next possibility is, I have once again carbon-carbon double bond with two bonds as it is, an electrophile. Instead of going to this carbon here, if I am going to give it to this carbon, then the possibility is exactly opposite. Carbon, single bond carbon, as it is I'm putting two bonds which are nothing but hydrogens. Because it is going here as E, the bond here formed, it is actually is due to which bond? This is going to shift here, that is why I'm going to remove this. And because this carbon is losing pi electron share, it is going to get positive charge. So this results in formation of carbonium ion. The third step is the same one. In the second step, the form carbonium ion, that is carbon carbon with two bonds. Two bonds. I'm going to use this example here where electrophile is coming and attacking. Is going to react with nucleophile, and this carbon has positive charge. So this nucleophile is attracted by this positive charge, and it shifts there to form carbon with two bonds and electrophile here, and carbons with two bonds nucleophile here. And this is supposed to be your addition product. And remember this, in the first step we have generated electrophile and nucleophile. The formed electrophile from the first step is first getting attacked. That is why this reaction is called as electrophilic addition reaction. The entire process is called as electrophilic addition reaction. This is what is the general mechanism which you need to remember. Please look up the notes which I'm going to send you, and also try to understand with this video. If you have got any doubts, we'll discuss it later. Now we'll begin with this Markovnikov orientation. See, Markovnikov is a scientist, is basically a Russian scientist, which has who has given an important understanding of how the addition reaction will be conducted in those alkenes which are unsymmetrical. So basically, it's called as Markovnikov's orientation. See, symmetrical alkene, asymmetrical alkene, are two things we need to just understand with the help of few examples. The first one example, symmetrical alkenes. For example, you have carbon-carbon double bond, and here we'll have two hydrogens. So around this double bond, if I am going to divide it, we have one carbon here with two hydrogens here, two hydrogens here. This is supposed to be symmetrical alkene. Now the next example, carbon-carbon double bond carbon. Here I'm going to have three bonds, that is hydrogens. Here only one hydrogen. Here two hydrogens. So this compound is propene. And if I'm going to divide this, here I have one carbon with two hydrogens. I'm having two carbons with 1, 2, 3, 4 hydrogens. So this is supposed to be asymmetrical or unsymmetrical alkene. Asymmetrical or unsymmetrical alkene. These two things you need to remember first. Now, with the help of an example which we'll use here is the CH2 double bond CH2. This is ethene or ethylene, reacts with HBr. HBr is hydrobromic acid, your hydrogen bromide. This is your reagent. Will give you CH3 CH2 Br. The name of this compound is ethyl bromide. I'm just writing the reaction here. Ethene or ethylene reacts with hydrogen bromide, a reagent, which gives ethyl bromide. This example which we are going to take is symmetrical alkene, and also this reagent is called as unsymmetrical reagent. Unsymmetrical reagent. If it is BR, then this is symmetrical reagent, and HBr is unsymmetrical reagent. So symmetrical alkene reacts with unsymmetrical reagent, that is HBr, to give ethyl bromide. This is what you have to remember here. But if you take this example of CH2 double bond CH2, ethene reacts with HBr, the first step will be that your reagent, what is your reagent here is HBr, is going to ionize, as you know, because in this there is only one possibility, because the Br is more electronegative. So the bond is going to shift here, and we are going to generate H plus and Br minus. H plus is your electrophile, Br minus is nucleophile. Generation of electrophile and nucleophile. Second step will be, instead of E plus, now we are going to use H plus. CH2 double bond CH2 reacts with H plus, and if it goes and attacks to this carbon here, this bond is which bond? Pi bond, which has pi electrons, is going to help in the formation of sigma bond here. So CH2 single bond CH2 with H. So these pi electrons is helping in the formation of this sigma electrons, which forms sigma bond. But because this carbon here is losing pi electron share, it gets positive charge. This is nothing but carbonium ion. And see how many carbons are there? 2 carbons, C2. How many hydrogens? 1 plus 2, 3 plus 2, 5. It is ethyl. So it is called as ethyl bromonium ion. The form ethyl bromonium ion, that is CH2 with a positive charge and CH and H2 reacts with, in the third step, with Br minus bromide ion, and this bromide ion will attack to this carbon because it has positive charge, and here we are going to get CH2 Br with, that is CH3 CH2 Br, ethyl bromide. So this is supposed to be the mechanism. So the statement here goes by, when an alkene is symmetrical, the symmetrical is this alkene here, reacts with an reagent, it has two possibilities, and the reagent should be symmetrical or unsymmetrical. Here the reagent is unsymmetrical. So in this example we have seen CH, we'll go with the new slide so that no confusion should be there. CH2 double bond CH2 reacts with HBr. If I'm not going to write once again all the steps, you have to run those in your mind. If hydrogen is shifting here, Br will shift here, and this results in the formation of CH2 Br single bond CH3. You know how this double bond is now breaking with the formation of carbonium ion. The second option is CH2 double bond CH2 plus HBr, where hydrogen is shifting here and bromine is shifting here, and this results in the formation of CH3 CH2 Br, which again is also ethyl bromide. So when your alkene is symmetrical, as in this, if it is symmetrical, the products we are going to get are identical. We are going to get same product. The products are same. But if the alkene is unsymmetrical, as in this, the products will not be identical. So Markovnikov, the Russian chemist, has given few rules or understanding where it states that one unsymmetrical reagent, this is the unsymmetrical reagent, reacts or adds to unsymmetrical alkene, the positive part of your reagent, the positive part will be your electrophile E plus or here H plus. part of the reagent attacks the double bonded carbon which has the highest number of hydrogen atoms. I'm just reading out you the definition of Markovnikov's rule. When we just write down its mechanism, you're going to understand that in detail. Here we are going to talk about the mechanism which will help us in understanding the statements given by Vladimir Markovnikov, a Russian chemist. The first thing we need to consider here is we are going to use unsymmetrical reagent, that is HBr. We are going to use unsymmetrical alkene, that is propene. These two things you need to remember first. The step one will hold good for everyone when we are going to talk about the mechanism of addition reaction, where we are going to use unsymmetrical alkene. Here is HBr, and because Br is supposed to be more electronegative, the sigma electrons will shift towards Br, and we are going to generate H plus plus Br minus. H plus is supposed to be your electrophile, Br minus is supposed to be your nucleophile. Here H plus can also be named as proton, Br minus can also be named as bromide ion. In step number 2, the proton can attack alkene. Here we are going to use which alkene? Propene, that is CH3, CH double bond CH2, and we are going to react it with electrophile. Now we have going to concentrate on these two carbons because the double bond is between these two. So proton can either attack this carbon here, or it can either attack this carbon here. If it is going to attack this one, I'm going to write it as A, and if it is going to by B, I'll be marking as this as B. So two options we're going to consider here. By A step, if this proton is going here, you know that the pi electrons would shift here and result in the formation of sigma bond. So we write here CH3 CH single bond CH2 with a hydrogen now here, and because this is losing, this carbon is losing pi electrons, so it will get positive charge. Very simple. In the B1, CH3 is as it is here, as it was here. Now the second one, if hydrogen comes here, CH with an hydrogen now here, and this one will be CH2 with a positive charge. You have to now have this basic understanding here is when you are going by this A step and B step, we are going to generate two types of carbonium ion. Is this carbonium ion? Yes, because this carbon has three bonds with positive charge, and this carbon also has three bonds with positive charge, so this is also carbonium ion. And because this carbon is supposed to be secondary, because it has two attachments here, because it is secondary carbon, it is called as secondary carbonium ion. And this carbon is supposed to be primary because it has only one carbon attached to it, then it is called as primary carbonium ion. And please remember, the point here is that tertiary carbonium ion is supposed to be more stable, followed by secondary carbonium ion, followed by primary carbonium ion. So this understanding is supposed to be very important. So in this second step, we have two options. One is, if in previous example of ethene, when it was symmetrical, we were getting only one type of carbonium ion, that was ethyl carbonium ion. Here we have two options. If we are following A chain or A type of reaction, we are going to generate secondary carbonium ion. If we are going by B, we are going to get primary carbonium ion. So as per the understanding of chemistry is concerned, secondary is supposed to be more stable than primary. So we are going to go with secondary carbonium ion as our major product. So step 2 is that we are going to get two types of carbonium ion. Step 3, they form carbonium ion, that is CH3 CH with CH3 and positive charge, reacts with Br minus. This Br minus is going to shift here and results in the formation of CH3 CH Br CH3. There is 2 bromo 1 2 3 propane, and this is your major product. The understanding given by the scientist Markovnikov that when an unsymmetrical alkene CH 3CH double bond CH2 reacts or adds with unsymmetrical reagent, unsymmetrical reagent reacts with unsymmetrical alkene. Alkene unsymmetrical is HBr. The positive part of your reagent, what will be a positive part of your reagent? H plus, attaches to the double bonded carbon. These are the two double bonded carbon. Attaches to the double bonded carbon which has the greatest number of hydrogen. This carbon has greatest number of hydrogen. So this should go here. And that is why we have CH3 forming. And the compound name we are going getting at the end is CH3 CH single bond CH2 H and Br. If you don't remember the mechanism also, by the saying of Markovnikov, it states that when an unsymmetrical alkene as propene reacts with unsymmetrical reagent, that is HBr, the positive part of your reagent, that is proton, goes and attacks to that double bonded carbon which has highest number of hydrogen. In this two carbons, this has only one hydrogen, this has two hydrogens. So it goes here and results in the formation of this, and the Br will go to this carbon and this comes here. So this results in the formation of 2-bromopropane. This is what is Markovnikov's rule, Markovnikov's orientation. Thank you.